Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Horse Geeks podcast. We're welcoming ourselves back to the
We
Horse Geeks
are.
podcast after some time off. Um, welcome to the Horse Geeks podcast. I'm Kirsten Nelsen, professional horse trainer. With me is my good friend Deb Romero, certified Alexander Technique instructor. And the Horse Geeks podcast is all about looking at horses and riders from the inside out. And we've had a bit of a sabbatical, right? It's like we took time off, but it was sort of needed for both of us. So thank
Mhm.
you guys for being patient with the interruption to the weekly podcasts. And I got one done while you were gone, Deb. That was it. Like, so
Isn't
first I
that
thought,
amazing?
yeah, we might just explain what we've been doing because
Okay, that's cool.
I've only put out one podcast, I think, in the past 2 months. Like it's been a while. And so I'm sorry, you guys, for the interruption.
Oops.
Oh, I lost your video, Deb.
Yeah, it
And
keeps happening, and I don't know why.
so
There we go.
you went on a,
Uh-oh.
well, I'll let you work on that. What I've been doing is taking care of horses, taking care of the farm, of course, doing my regular, lessons, training, clinic, but pouring a lot of time into this book I'm working on. And the book is going to be called Optimal Balance Essentials for People and Horses. And
Yay.
yeah, because what we have to learn in order to ride well really helps people who don't ride. And
Yeah,
I have to rewrite the whole introductory chapter because,
again.
again, it's like this has been a process of 5 years worth of
Stop.
work, and it's finally getting to the point where because you can't make things like coordination, physical coordination. It's it's complicated. It's simple to work on, but
But
the
it's
way
extremely complicated to explain.
it's very complicated to
Yeah,
explain.
it's like
And
my work. I don't know how to explain it.
yeah. So I've been really excited and motivated to work on that book again lately. And so that's what I've been doing for the past 2 months. And, it's as tiring as doing the physical chores
Oh,
to like,
it's much more mental strain on me when I have to focus like that than doing something physical.
yeah. And I've got about a 3 hour maximum attention span to sit at my
That's
laptop.
more than mine. I've got two,
Yeah, and that's
and then I'm
getting up to
done.
get coffee and,
Oh, okay.
with the cats crawling on me or whatever. But that's what I've been working on, everybody. And so it was kind of a sabbatical for me because I really got to focus on something I'm trying to create. And I've been working on it in the background for 5 years, trying to put together everything I know about horse training into it'll be one comprehensive book, but then there's the supportive workbooks, and I already have my virtual assistant now starting on online course.
Wow.
So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I don't know how people put these courses out so fast because I go,
They must have staff.
either they have staff
I don't
or
know.
I gotta say, I've signed up for courses and bought books where I'm like, it wasn't worth it.
Oh,
And I don't want to be that creator.
I don't know. I don't
I do
know.
not want to be that creator who doesn't deliver for
And
the
maybe
money.
that's it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's it. It's the speed of it instead of the quality, which we're all about the quality. We're never about the speed.
And the devil is in the details. So,
Oh, it is.
like coordination, which you work with and I work with
Mm.
in people, is it's kind of complicated to understand. So I tried to simplify it like you do, but you can't make it more simple than it is.
Well, and that
And
each individual body is different.
exactly.
So approaching healthy coordination can come from, even though we could do top to bottom, but for some people or horses, you might have to go from bottom to top. You don't,
Or
you
left to
just,
right.
or left to right or up and
Yeah.
down, and you don't know where to start. You just have to kind of give them all the information and say, pick.
Yeah, because it's such a funny thing because we're all humans. We all have the same anatomy.
Right.
So there's very few ways that we actually use our bodies most efficiently in the best possible coordination,
That is
a,
exactly right.
kind of according to the design. So it doesn't matter if we ride English or Western or
Right.
dressage or trails, or we jump or we don't, or we do endurance. At the end of the day, we all have the same human body. So I only came up with two riding postures that are actually the balanced use of a rider on a horse.
Well, it's just pure physics. It's
Yeah, because
it's the bottom line is pure physics. That's all.
yeah, and the details of coordination are not the important part. It's kind of understanding there's a mechanical reality to the physical body, and
Hmm.
coordination is how we use those mechanics. It's not dependent on conformation or size or shape or body
Exactly.
weight or anything. It's just coordination is how do we use it?
And
How
it's
do
a
we use what
choice.
we've got?
I think that was one of the chapters I read in your book. What really stood out to me was it's a choice.
Yeah.
It is a
So
choice.
I already kind of took over and went off this tangent, but why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing while we've
Oh,
been absent?
well, regular farm stuff, but I have been gone for about 3 weeks. I went to Dublin for the International Alexander Conference, which only happens every 4 years. So it's kind of a big deal.
I'm so
Um,
jealous.
Lots of information to share, but I've really got to compile it. But the big takeaways that I focused on while I was there is new pain management theories and trauma response theories.
Mm.
So at some point, I will compile that and share. But and the whole blow up, just stay tuned. There's a whole blow up about the polyvagal theory. So what
So interesting.
science is so interesting to me because they really play with debunking somebody else,
Well, this is the thing. This is
you know?
why I'm a science geek at all, is because it's like everybody's picking apart
Hmm.
and nobody takes offense.
They don't. They
It,
don't.
it's a matter of curiosity
Hmm.
to keep sort of looking and looking again and looking again. And well, that's a good theory, but when you put it out in the field, it falls apart.
Exactly. Exactly. And to have, it was so entertaining to have a guest speaker, the guy who invented the polyvagal theory one night, and then the next night, another scientist, Alexander teacher, who debunks it and proves it otherwise. So
Right.
it's cool that you could go to a place where all of that's accepted.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And I
like, well,
go,
here's this idea, here's this idea.
science it's not perfection. I think people have that
That
idea that
is
it's
so
perfection.
true. It's the rule, and it's there. It's not.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
kind of like science proves we have to breathe, but we all know we have to breathe, right?
Right.
And then science looks at how we breathe, but then there's anomalies to that, or there's
Hmm.
uniqueness within that. And how we breathe, does it affect anything else, right? And so,
It's so, and they're just, I think it's also because they have so many more tools now.
yeah, I think it just helps us
Hmm.
understand what already is.
And we
Sci
just don't know what we don't know. It's the
I
same
go,
thing.
physics didn't explain, it didn't invent gravity, it explains it.
Right.
And physics didn't invent forces of motion, those have always been, but it helps us understand them in order to work with them in a more effective or useful way. And
Right.
so that's what science is. And I go, of course it's imperfect. Of course we get it wrong.
Hmm.
But what I love about it is it's an unending search for a
Right.
for a better and better explanation. And it's a
Yeah.
collaborative effort between scientists where, of course, egos are involved, but at the end of the day, there's sort of a does it work, does it not work reality check.
And it's just been popping up in my mind about theory and like you said, what happens in a lab happens in a lab, but I think we've gotten to the point where we like to test it.
Well, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, and see if it works
Yeah.
because it might not work in the real world or with horses or with people.
Right. Or like something as simple, and I love this, that nature is always so simple and so elegant. So, like the genius of Albert Einstein to come up with E equals mc squared. And then the years it's taken to try to disprove that
I
theory,
know, right?
right? And when it can't be disproven, it holds truth by default.
And that's
And
what that's
so
science in a nutshell,
that
really.
is science in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And yet, that is such an elegant, simple equation that out in, when field tested, so to speak, or out in the real world, it developed rockets. It
Right. It was
moved
so
humanity
basic.
forward, right? Just that comprehension of something that already existed shifted our day-to-day life, right? Evolved technology, evolved what we could do. And so that is what science gives us is that
Yeah,
we take it and we use it, and in the use of it, sometimes it's disproven.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or in the use of it, sometimes the truth of the theory is strengthened, but we
exactly.
don't know till we use it. So
And I
it's
think
like,
that's what's kind of sets us apart in the horse world is we're out there testing these things and and going with the most up-to-date research we can get our hands on
yeah.
to say, there's got to be something better. There's just got to be something different, better that we can help our horses.
Yeah. And I think people, this is what egos love to do, is we love to believe in science like a religion, that it's infallible, that we just
Not really.
blindly do what
Yeah.
the scientists say to do. And there's a big pushback against that in our modern times. But I think that's the pendulum swinging too far the other way.
Good
Because
point.
I go, if you ignore science, good luck, back to the Middle Ages, shorter
Well,
lifespan,
I hate to
harder
say it,
life.
I feel that a lot, and I see it in the horse world and in the human Western medicine world. That's all, like you said, it's Middle Ages, it's all in the Dark Ages,
Yeah.
and that we've got to do better for our
Yeah.
mankind and for our horses. We've just got to do better.
Exactly. And that's where it's somewhere between, it's a healthy skepticism
Hmm.
and keeping your natural curiosity that you take what somebody tells you is true and you go, let me test that out.
And or what the fun thing is, we both have more than one horse that we're working at and testing it on many horses.
For years before I ever dipped my toe into the public arena, I considered my volunteer time at various horse rescues like my lab. I go,
Yeah,
that's where I started putting a lot of my own theories to the test and going, if that theory is correct, it should work for all horses
right.
with some adjustments,
Hmm.
right? And that's what really refined what I'm putting in this textbook is that I had to prove to myself, and I discovered a ton of flaws in the theory. Like it kept
Hmm.
shaping what's true in all cases, what's not
Yeah,
true in all cases,
yeah.
right? And so again, we look out in the horse world and what we notice as people are all the differences. And
Good
what
point.
what you and I are doing is looking at people and horses going, what's the same?
Hmm. What works for
Right.
the
What's
group?
what's the same? Because then
Yeah,
we can find something that applies across the board, no matter the saddle or the job you're doing with your horse or how
Hmm.
you like to ride or and so that finding what's in common and then putting sort of that scientific rigor,
Yeah.
where you stay curious, you stay open.
I think that's so important to stay curious and not drink the Kool-Aid.
Right? And
You know,
so many
try it,
of,
but it might not work for you, and that's okay. But like you said, a lot of egos come into the horse world.
and a lot of beliefs.
A lot of strong
Yeah.
old beliefs. I
The
agree
same
with
way
that.
people either believe in science or disbelieve science,
Hmm.
people believe traditional training or don't believe traditional training.
It's
Like
interesting.
it's just sort of, and I keep finding it's so interesting that in order to learn, maybe it's necessary that we visit duality. Like maybe
Yeah,
the
good
pendulum
point.
has to swing too far both ways before
Hmm.
we find the middle.
Yeah,
But and that's why balance is such a big part of my work because I go, it's hard to wrap your head around coming out of traditional training because you can have
yeah,
too much of anything and it
yep,
creates a problem.
yeah,
And too much of one thing means you don't have enough of its opposite. Or we can focus on, I don't have enough forward, but then people with horses that have excessive forward still have a problem. Either way, it's
right.
a problem
It,
because it's too much or too little.
but then then I get real geeky about it. And it's like, who is it a problem for? The person,
Oh
because
yeah,
the horse is the horse.
the horse is the horse. But I will add a caveat to that that I found horses that lack the impulse to move freely forward are telling us they suffer discomfort in their own body.
I like that. And it's with people too.
I was going to say it's no different because
It's,
when
yeah.
movement starts to become uncomfortable, before it's
Hmm.
painful, it'll become uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And the less efficient, less comfortable movement is, people just find ways to not move as much.
And it's so simple, but not in the neuroscience that I learned about, the protective mechanism and how we seek safety and comfort, just like horses do. And
Oh, yeah,
if that's not present, it goes into muscle tightening. And it's that simple.
it really is that
It's
simple
really that
because
simple. It
it
goes into muscle tension.
it kind of started with horse training where I realized three important needs that if we don't meet with horses, we're gonna suffer problems. We're gonna have
Mm.
issues, right? And those three fundamental needs are horses need to feel safe, horses need to feel stable, and horses need to feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Period. And then I'm like, oh yeah, people do too.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah, I do too. And it was
and
like
an
it kind of went backwards for me from horses to all horse
mhm.
owners to, oh yeah, me too. I don't know why,
And
but that
another
was just
thing
kind of
that
how it worked.
what I found with some of the workshops I went to is we seek healthy connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that's what Alexander Touch, they're scientifically proving is a healthy communication through touch.
yes, and I
So for
think
horses, that's like a yes or no. It's
it's a
either
big ass deal with horses
yeah.
because the herd, the whole herd, I don't want to say hierarchy, the herd social structure is
Mhm.
part of the survival. But I go, humans have herds too. Like we're
You
not
know what?
sole survivors.
I That happened to me on my trip because I went by myself. I didn't go with a group,
Hmm.
and it was interesting to watch the dynamics of other groups of people and my discomfort of not having a group.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
because
whoa, this
it
is interesting.
it triggers a little bit of a safety instinct.
Yeah, it's like you become very aware, alert of your surroundings and who you're with. And I thought, wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Just
No,
go
and
3,000 miles from home to a new country and look what it does.
there you go. No, and another friend of mine, like I traveled by myself a lot and I love it. I love traveling that way. But like a friend of mine just recently traveled by herself also to Ireland for the first time by herself without a friend. And it was very different.
Very different. And
Hmm.
it's amazing. We don't think we seek that connectedness, but it's a proven fact. The human species and maybe horses, I don't know, seek healthy connection.
Horses definitely and people definitely.
Yeah,
It's what we call bonding.
yeah.
And we can bond with horses in a way that puts us in their mind. We become part of their herd. And basically, it's so again, so simple. We can walk up to a horse and put a halter on and lead them to the barn, we are in the herd.
Yeah.
We're in the
If you
herd.
can't catch your horse,
You're not in the herd.
hmm.
And it's not personal. It's that the horse is still perceiving humans as predators. And so if you go out to catch a Mustang and put a halter on him, good luck, right? Not going to be an easy thing to do, to catch a wild horse because horses perceive us as predators. So you can have a horse at home that was born domestically and still have that little bit of wild horse
Hmm.
inside that doesn't perceive humans as herd members. You can also have a horse that's hard to catch because they hate what happens after they're caught. And so
It's that energy, it's that not so good connection.
it's a not connection. Nothing in it for me. No, thank you very much. Because
Yep.
if a horse doesn't feel safe, stable, and comfortable in the connection with the human, then they're going to opt out. They're going to go, no, thanks, don't want to be caught. Doesn't work for me.
Or the things you talked about before, they won't go forward or they go too fast.
That to me has more to do with comfort and stability
Right.
versus the need for safety. But it's like some horses can be so dysfunctionally coordinated and still do everything we require.
Oh, I
But the
know.
longer that goes on, just like people getting old, they start to feel unsafe in their own skin. When you start to have pain issues or a level of discomfort, you don't feel safe in your own skin. And people who
Hmm.
have had surgery or injuries or illness or just aging and having that breakdown in the axial stability that can come with aging, doesn't have to.
Yeah, be
Um,
careful there.
yeah, I know.
I mean, it was
Um,
amazing to be around 1,000 Alexander teachers
of all ages.
of all ages in good use. I mean,
Yeah.
it it would be a great little world to live in.
Yeah. And I bet it was kind of hard to tell how old people really were.
Yeah,
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 because a
that's a good point.
good movement almost has an anti-aging effect
Yeah.
on the body. But I think, well, I derailed my thought. Anyways, I just think that oh, I know what I was thinking, that safety is a very different issue from comfort and stability, but a certain amount of discomfort or instability will trigger a feeling of not being safe.
Right. It's all interconnected.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
really pull one out from the other.
Yeah.
And that's why some of the exercises I teach with horses, a lot of people like it's so simple with a very complicated explanation of why we do it this certain way, but it works because it's simple, right?
It
And
kind of
so
it's kind of like to me working with people is like learning a musical instrument. You got to start with very basic.
that's a great way to put it.
You got to
Yeah.
start with ABCs of whatever until you can do a whole piece, you know?
Yeah. Like you've got to
Yeah,
get the scales of your
right,
instrument down. So you
right.
know all the notes and you have the coordination, again, coordination, so that you're not having to like think finger goes here, right?
Yeah, and that's why Alexander School is 3 years because it's that.
Yes.
It's
No, and
that.
that's why a lot of the work I do with people and horses is deceptively, almost looks too simple. It looks deceptively easy. But I go, it's not that easy. It's just simple.
That's true.
That's very, very different things. But even like I used to call lunging the specific way I lunge horses, because everybody lunges, right? Oh,
Right.
I know how to lunge a horse. And so I played with changing the name of it, which didn't really stick. But for a while I called it playing the scales. Because just like
Hmm.
if you're learning the piano, you have to get that coordination of
Mm-hmm.
up and down the scales with your fingers. And that to me, lunging to me is a time where the horse learns the scales of walk, trot, canter, trot, walk, walk, trot, canter, trot, walk until they get good at it.
Right. And not explosive or, yeah.
And I don't see people lunging for that purpose. I see people chasing horses around to make them tired so that they calm
And that
down.
doesn't work.
Or I see people chasing horses around hoping one day they figure out how to go forward on their own. And I go, I
Right.
haven't seen that work out very well. And
Yeah.
so, or I see people lunging to get the buck and bolt out of the horse before they ride. And it's like,
Never worked for me. My horse was still able to buck and bolt and throw me off after 3 hours of lunging.
I know, right?
Didn't work for
How's that
me.
theory working out there in the real world?
Test that theory.
Right?
It just brings up the what we're thinking we need to do to the horse to make us
Yes.
feel okay.
That,
Oh, that's a tough
mm,
one.
that's a part I don't say out loud. Yeah.
Just
You
in-depth
just
of
said it
stuff.
out loud.
I said
Yes,
it out
you
loud. And
did.
it's, that's when I was in a situation of out of my comfort zone, a lot of things spoke to me. Like, wow,
Yeah. No,
this
and
is a big reality check right here.
one of the fundamental choices we have to make as horse owners and riders is, am I going to have a relationship with this horse
Mm,
that is mutually beneficial? Which means I'm not afraid of my horse and my horse isn't afraid of me,
good
that
point.
I'm comfortable working with my horse and my horse is comfortable working with me, that I feel stable and my horse feels stable. Or are we going to take the role of ownership in the relationship, which means you do what I ask you to do, and I don't want to hear anything about it.
Big difference.
And that is like to make that choice is to question ourselves and go, how does my
Yes.
horse feel about this relationship? Right? Does my horse look forward to seeing me as much as I look forward to seeing my horse?
Yeah.
And that's hard earned, easily lost with horses
True.
because they're not like dogs. No, they let you know,
They do.
right? I mean, they can be very empathetic and they can be there for a person in need, but they're also good at calling us out on what we
Right.
think we know that's not working for them. And that's what we call a horse problem. And so
Mm,
it's like, so I think a really fundamental choice before we even start testing different theories is like, are we in a relationship with our horse for mutual benefit, or are we an owner of the horse, meaning the horse has to do what we want,
mhm.
right? Because as soon as the horse doesn't do what we want, that's where that decision is going to come into play,
Right.
right? Because if we're in a mutually beneficial relationship, we get curious. We go, why isn't the horse doing what I want? And I'll tell you, if you just put those three things in your mind, the root cause of the horse not doing what we want has to do with the horse feeling safe, stable, or comfortable or not.
Right.
I go,
Yeah.
it really is that simple. But we don't question it if we have the mentality of ownership.
Right.
And it's like if you want the mentality of ownership over a feeling, thinking, living creature, good luck. And you're better off getting a bike
Yeah.
because the bike won't argue, right? Or the
I don't know. I
four-wheeler.
argue with my computer all the time.
I know, right?
Doesn't get me anywhere.
But at least a
But
four-wheeler, you can just fix it and it'll go again.
but then it brings up the subject of the arguing with the computer. It's my lack of knowledge. It's not the computer's fault. It's my lack of knowledge of how to communicate.
Right? Yeah.
The computer's just there.
No, and horses are kind of like that.
Yeah.
They'll do exactly what you communicate non-verbally, but it's not always what you want.
That's so true. That is it in a
Yeah.
nutshell. And
And it's
and
like they
we need
have their own hardware and software that they
no, that's
came
true.
with too.
That's true.
So sometimes you can have a software glitch.
Yeah. Update the software. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I do for people. And yeah.
Yeah. I have missed you so much, Deb. I'm so happy. It's like,
I know. I was
I know.
just like, life is so boring without Kirsten conversation.
And
I don't
I
have anybody to
obviously,
share this with other than other Alexander teachers around the world.
I know, and we don't often ever talk on the phone or get together like
We're so busy.
just, so the podcast is our time to catch up,
Yeah.
which I love. But but I'm excited to hear a lot more about your
Yeah, I'll
trip.
just before we end, just a tip. Like I said, I'm really fascinated about the relationship between pain and trauma because I know there's a lot of people that have what's been coming to me is people that have the fear of getting on their horse because of a trauma.
Yeah.
And I really want to help people with that.
Well, or horses that have been traumatized.
Yeah.
I go, they can be ridden for years and still be in a trauma response every time a person gets
Yeah.
on them.
So I'm fascinated and trying to tap into um people that I met at the conference to see, to talk with them, get information, what they're doing. So,
Absolutely. Because pulling in science from outside the horse world has been the most important part of my work.
yeah. And what was interesting is one trauma expert said, to recreate the trauma. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. And another expert said, oh, no, no, no.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
and I was like, oh, this is fascinating. I love it. There's
Yeah,
no
don't lock
true.
the claustrophobic in the closet.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. Yeah.
So anyway, stay tuned, guys.
I know.
I'm trying to get the truth, but I don't know if there is a truth. But
Well, and I'm excited too as I send you these chapters in the book after all my editing. You have so much great feedback. So I want to
oh,
do that
thanks.
on the podcast too.
Yeah, we can.
We
I've
can
got a
go over
list.
some of that written stuff. Of course you do.
Of course I do. I only got 9 pages into one chapter and I've got 2 pages written already. It's like, stop there. That's good.
Just when I think I'm done editing.
Oh,
That's funny.
I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. That's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and we share very common theory, very
Mhm.
common values, and that's why the back and forth works so well.
Yes.
Yeah, you have way more depth of knowledge with people,
Hmm.
and my depth of knowledge goes more the horse direction. I'm
Right.
like, people, you just need to do this, but here's what's happening with your
With your
horse.
horse. Don't ask me that. Just do it.
Yeah.
Good
All
day.
right. So
All
thanks for
right.
joining us, everybody. And we hope you enjoy. I did get some lovely emails and comments about the
Oh,
podcast, so I think we were missed a bit.
oh,
And
good.
we will try to get back
Back
on
on track
track.
now.
I was able to switch platforms and save a few dollars on keeping the podcast going, so that helps a lot. So I think we will just carry on.
Yeah, and
Is
please send us your questions and thoughts and theories.
yeah, questions, thoughts, theories, all fodder for a conversation on the
Exactly.
podcast because everybody who owns a horse has a question. Right?
Exactly.
And you don't have to own a horse because human coordination on or
Hmm.
off a horse is
It's
kind
just the
it's
same.
kind of the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.